Don't mind the fall decor. I'm actually putting it away today because I'm filming a Christmas decorating video, so stay tuned for that video. But in today's video, we are going to do some hobbies you could try out because I just wanted to show you guys some things that you could do when you're stuck inside. Because are you really going to be outside once it's like minus 40 out? Probably not for more than a few hours. Who better to show you guys than me, because I spend all my time inside my house. Anyways, I found these recipes through like TikTok or just randomly searching them up. These recipes are specifically desserts. There's obviously 1,000 different desserts you could do, but I only narrowed it down to 6 recipes. I kind of organized them. I really tried my best, from like easy, being like it's literally just a box, pour it out, add 2 and 3 ingredients and then you're done, to medium where it's like throw everything into a bowl and mix it, bake it, whatever, to like extremely hard where you have to make sure that everything's a certain temperature, like you beat it properly. Like, oh my goodness, when I tell you I almost died making macarons, that you however you say it, I literally almost lost my shit. These aren't my own recipes, so I will leave them down below, like the measurements. I'll try to find the links. Anyways, let's get into it. So for level 1, easy box dessert, all you have to do is literally add 2 eggs and I think it was half a cup of oil. Mix it all up until it's clump free, and then I got a cupcake pan. I tried to spray it with oil. I don't know what happened to the oil. Kind of came out foamy, and I had to do 2 batches. So after I think like half an hour-ish, you kind of just take them out of the oven. They're really hot, so obviously be careful. And then I just put it all onto a cooling rack so they can cool. And then I did the second batch. Next thing I did was make chocolate pudding. I literally love chocolate pudding, and I'm pretty sure all you had to add was milk, and then you mix it up. I put it into 2 separate little tiny bowls so then I can just eat it whenever. Level 2, this is like a kind of easy level, so it wasn't that hard. I was making Korean donuts, and oh my gosh, these are literally the best things ever. I did have to warm up the milk and the butter because you needed to use yeast so the dough can rise. So it's not that hard, honestly. All you have to do is either put it in a saucepan or put it in the microwave. But anyways, you have to let it rise. You have to give it some time. I think like an hour I waited, and then I poured out the dough onto my cutting board because I just didn't want to put it directly onto my counter. And then you just roll it out, make some circles, and then you fry it up. Like, this was literally the easiest thing I did. And these are so good. There's this place in Calgary, I think it's called Wow Bakery. They make the best Korean donuts. And then literally just fry it. I topped it off with some sugar on the outside. And then I made some whipping cream to be in the inside. You can eat it as is. It's just like a regular sweet donut. You just make a hole in the donuts with a knife or something and then squeezed it in. And they were so freaking good. Next thing I made was banana bread. Banana bread is so easy. I've been making it forever. There's just a lot of different recipes out there, obviously. So this one, I kind of have been doing it for a while, so this is kind of sort of my recipe, but I just take flour, I sift it so there's no clumps, and then I take 3 bananas. It's always 3 ripened bananas. Mix it with 2 eggs, some vanilla extract, butter, and then whisk that until it's literally not clump free because of the bananas, but less clumpy. And then I put it into the dry batter. So for this, you kind of have to be considerate about wet and dry batter. That's what I've learned when baking. You never want to have a dry batter, so example flour, and then keep adding a wet thing, so like an egg or milk or butter, because it really does get really clumpy. So that's what I've learned pretty much. Then I just threw everything into like a bread loaf thing that I had to buy. I had one, but I don't know what happened to it, so I bought this one from the dollar store. And then I topped it off with mini eggs because I love mini eggs. It came out really beige, so I put it back in for like a little bit. You kind of have to do the toothpick test where you stick a toothpick in the middle. If it sticks to the toothpick, it's not ready. That's how you know if something in the middle is not cooked yet. But after I took it out, it was fully cooked. I did the second batter in the same exact pan, and then I sliced it up. Look at that squishiness. Like, it was such a soft, moist banana bread. Then the second loaf came out, I cut that up, and then I put it away. Okay guys, level 3. This is the hard level. Look at this egg.
Brother, what's that?
I felt so disgusted, but this is creme brulee. It is tedious, I'm not gonna lie, it's very tedious. You have to do steps in a certain way. So I mixed my eggs and sugar together, and then in a saucepan, I mixed up the heavy cream vanilla extract. I have to let that simmer because it has to get to a certain temperature or boiling point before you can add it to the mixture. And then for this one, you have to beat those eggs. You have to keep them moving. You don't want those eggs to be cooking while you're putting in a hot mixture. That's like putting an egg in hot water to make a hard boiled egg. So that's not what you want. So you have to be really considerate about what you're doing at the time and how you're doing it. So after all that is mixed together, then you have to put hot water into a big pan. So it kind of just boils in the oven. I don't know the correct term for it, but this is what I mean, where stuff is very tedious. And then I took it out. You can tell when it's ready when it's like jiggling. So that's why I kind of did the jiggle test, is what it's called. And then you just top it off with sugar and blowtorch and you're done. Next thing, oh my gosh, this is the part where I almost literally killed myself, but I was making matcha macarons. I don't know how to say it. It's literally 4 ingredients, but it's the hardest thing ever. So I have to sift all the dry ingredients, and I'm not gonna lie, I had to do this twice because I was not getting the right consistency. I was like getting so frustrated. So first of all, you have to sift. Look at this. Do you see that clumpiness? No. That is where I messed up. And then for the egg whites, oh my gosh, the egg whites needs to be kind of room temperature warm, or else they're not gonna froth up to the right consistency. I was like getting pissed off at this point, and look at that color. That's not the color I wanted, but you know what? I was like, let me just try it out. So I started putting the dry ingredients into the egg whites, and you know what? I had hope. I really had hope. And then it turned this nice green color, and I was like, oh yes, it's gonna be perfect. And I did all the steps right, and then I decided to, you know what, F it, let's just do this. This is where I messed up. Do you see me piping and how it's like so runny? Like it's literally flattening out. Yeah, that's not what it's supposed to do. Anyways, I let it sit for a while, and then I was like, you know what, let me just try to bake it and see how it goes. It did not go good. Oh my gosh, I was just so frustrated. So here's day 2 of trying to do macaroons. So I realized, yes, the egg whites needed to be heated, so I put them over a boiling pot of water. Then I add the sugar. I made it frothy, and then once it was like frothy and good, I kind of took it off the heat, and then I beat it with my hand mixer. And oh my gosh, my arm was so tired. I don't know if it was just the hand mixture or what, but I'm gonna need a stand mixer for Christmas. Wink wink nudge nudge. But yeah, I was beating that biatch up so well. And then I added the food coloring to make it that green color. I actually did not have just pure green, so I had to add yellow and blue. If you didn't know, that makes green. And then it kind of turned into this minty color, so I was like, you know what, I honestly don't care. I just want to make sure I get the right consistency. And there was this test that you have to do to see if it goes over your head, it's perfect. And I did it, and it worked, and I was so excited. So I added the dry ingredients into my wet mixture, and oh my gosh, I was like praying that it works. I was just hoping it didn't mess up, and oh my gosh, it then turned this green color that I really loved, and I was like, I had high hopes. High freaking hopes, guys. So then I put it into a piping bag, so then I could start piping it out onto the trays. I don't know why, but there was just so many. Like literally, I felt like I was making 1,000, but I used like a cheat sheet because I really wanted this to work out good, and I ended up making like pretty good macaron like circles. And then you just have to let them rest on the counter. So to test if they're ready, you just have to like swipe it, and if it sticks to your finger like this one did, then it's not ready. So I waited until the swipe test was perfect. I baked it. Recipe said to do it at 300, and yeah, I don't think 300 was the move because they came out and they were a different color, and I was actually kind of pissed. So I was like, you know what, there's at least one that looked good, and I was very, very proud of myself in that moment. So I was like, you know what, F it. I just did all the other ones. They were like making this sound. I honestly don't know if you heard that, but anyways, I started baking all of them. Second tray came out, and these ones were much better. And guys, I lowered the heat as well to see if that made a difference to 270. And guys, it was a perfect green color. So I don't know if you can see the difference here, but the first couple batches were like a sage green, where like the second batch was a neon green. So then I made the filling. It was just a whipped heavy cream, honestly, because I didn't want to try it with any other cream. I was going to try buttercream, but really did not have the patience. So I just did like a whipped cream, honestly, and it was perfect. So after making all those macarons, this is how many I had left over, and I was actually pretty proud of myself, and I was really excited. So here I am just sandwiching them, all of them, and then I did a taste test, and they were freaking delicious. I don't know if I'm just saying that because I really spent all my hard work on it. So I would 10 out of 10 recommend doing that. So yeah, these are some recipes, ideas that you can try out if you want to start baking, or you know what, if you just wanted to watch this video for some entertainment. I hope I entertained you because this was actually pretty hard. I try to do a new recipe every week. That's why in, I think, the banana bread clip, I had long hair. Hopefully you got some inspiration from it to start baking this season. I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and stay tuned for all the holiday vlogs.